Welcome to medieval England, somewhere in the northeast part of the country. And these are not happy days. The kingdom is embroiled in turmoil, facing brutal fighting with the French and a civil war here at home. Wealthy barons all over England are rising up against the reign of a greedy and tax-obsessed tyrant by the name of King John. John's reign has been nothing short of disastrous, and he's traveling the country with a large force, putting down revolts and collecting riches to fund his military campaigns. But little do his enemies suspect that King John is about to lose everything. The massive convoy is traveling with the king's most prized possessions, including his crown jewels. But right about now, John makes the decision to part ways with the carriages, sending them through a dangerous marsh known as the Wash, while he rides around to the other side. The caravan and its drivers roll on into the muddy fields, unaware that in a few hours, scores of people will be dead, and the entire treasure will be swept away by a freak force of nature. A priceless fortune will be lost right here, buried deep in the pages of history, and waiting patiently for the future. So get ready to hop across the pond on a quest for 800-year-old crown jewels so valuable that whoever finds them can live like a king. Now, somewhere around here, King John's caravan, which would have been made up of thousands of people, a countless number of carriages, met with a very violent disaster. The question is, how? Well, it turns out that the Wash is a lot more dangerous than it looks. To understand what makes the Wash so deadly, I've enlisted the help of tidal expert John Bacon. John.
Josh, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Let me make sure I understand this. All of this out here is part of what's called the Wash.
Yeah, the Wash forms a muddy estuary, very typical of the east coast of England.
I confess I don't really understand fully what it is. I'm desperately hoping you can actually explain this to me.
Yeah, well, I think we can probably do a bit better than that. We'll take a craft and get out there and show you what's going on.
This model illustrates that during a normal high tide, even when the water rolls in, some of the Wash remains dry and navigable, which is where the king's caravan likely tried to cross. But John has discovered that under certain conditions, the Wash can become a much deadlier place.
So one of the things that could have happened was a spring tide occurring, which occurs when there's a full moon and the high tidal level is slightly higher than a normal tide.
Right.
Another thing could have happened was a storm surge at that time. It's possible under a powerful storm you may get waves up to 15 to 16 feet high. If all of those things occurred at the same time, then you could have a significantly bad flooding event.
With just the right mix of environmental conditions, the storm surge blows past the normal high tide, with a wall of water that could have swamped everything in its path and turned the Wash into a waterlogged hellscape. I'm in the city of London, England, deep inside the British National Archives, poring over medieval scrolls with historian Jessica Nelson. These documents were dictated by King John himself, not long before his entourage was lost in a coastal area of marsh and quicksand called the Wash. Archaeologist Ben Robinson is using these historic records to guide his search for the king's lost crown jewels. Look at that! This is extraordinary. And it's written in Latin?
Yes, so it's written in medieval Latin.
Medieval Latin, which you can read?
Yes.
Good, because I'm a little rusty. This roll is from when?
The whole roll is from the last year of his reign.
Okay.
And the section we're looking at here is just the last few days. And he's issuing an order to one of his officials here on the 12th day of October.
But the crucial thing here is we actually know where he is, Josh.
Right.
That's the crucial thing. He's actually naming the places where he was. These places still exist.
King John's insistence on recording the daily workings of his government provide an unprecedented look at his reign. His scribes are unwittingly providing clues for future historians to follow. In 800 years, the town names written down on this parchment will provide a treasure map of sorts that describe the king's caravan's route through the deadly waters of the Wash. Okay, and so where does he go?
We see him moving on, and then here he's at Swine's Head on the 13th day of October.
According to the scrolls, King John and his caravan travel from Swine's Head Abbey in Spalding to the town of Bishop's Lynn, where he becomes ill with dysentery. John parts ways with his baggage train and takes a longer route back west through the town of Wisbech and on to Newark, while his entourage is told to take a shortcut through the Wash. It's somewhere in this area that the caravan is lost. Now you might think that after the waters recede, the king's men will just come back down to the Wash and recover the treasure, but it's not quite that simple. The thick mud here swallows anything and everything that touches it. So while some of the larger pieces of treasure might be recovered, without future technology, the rest of it will be impossible to find here in the 13th century. But after a quick cuppa, we get right back to business looking for the jewel in the rock pile.
Hold it, guys.
Hole in it.
What is that? I know exactly what that is. Do you know
What is that?
That is the crest of England. That's the 3 lions per Sam.
It's is
The
this a stamp?
official seal of England.
This is a seal.
Yeah, that's a seal, a wax seal. It would be,
Stamp it on documents.
Yeah,
You melt
wax.
the wax, push it onto the document.
but
you'd
not
have
just
to-
any documents,
No,
royal
no.
documents.
The stamp is made of lead and would have been used to seal official letters, possibly from someone in a position of great authority.
How old is this?
That is old. I mean, that is really old.
Yeah,
How
this is
old
like
does
it-
this stand to be?
That's like 11, 12. That's in the
Absolutely,
time
yeah,
frame.
This is
Yeah,
it.
that's period.
This
That's
is
what-
800 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at that right there. That is history. That's
in
extraordinary.
your hands.
And for you guys to give that to me is, I mean, the generosity. I'll just keep this in here.
You'll be King Josh.
There we go. King Josh. That does have a certain ring to it.
The seal is a significant find, significant enough for us to keep sifting through the freezing muck. And it's a good thing we do, because it's not long before I spot something that appears metallic stuck under the grate.
What is that? You see that? There. Gary?
Looks metal. Yeah.
Look at that.
A little face.
Look at that. Look at it.
It's got like a little face on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got that could be way older even than what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, maybe 300 years earlier than what we'd be looking at.
I mean, look at that face.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What is it?
That would have been the metal strip when you open a purse.
Right.
You know, just like a little money purse.
Right.
And it's the same design through the centuries. It's a little mini piece of art. I mean, look at the decoration on it.
It's really something. To me, the thing that's really mind-blowing about this is that we found all this in one day.
In one little area as well. This is just in this little area.
So you think that we could be on top of part of the treasure from the carriage accident?
I really do, yeah. I think
Yeah.
these are serious clues.
Do you think that this area could be the crossing in question?
You can't doubt it for 1 second that the fact this is some sort of causeway. It's just got all the right answers for us.
And we've got these roads leading to different locations which somebody like John and his caravan would have to use.
Right.
And we also have rich finds like that. So yeah, absolutely. We have a location which fits, I think, the story.
And so a lot more work to be done here.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
It'll go on for many seasons to come, I think.
So, watch this space. More to come. Awesome work, guys. With the sun disappearing over the horizon, my quest for King John's lost caravan comes to an end. I've explored the deep end in search of the treasure, and perhaps even hovered on the brink of an epic discovery.